And we are recording. Continuing in Just Cause 2. Alright, I actually don't have much on my list. Really just two things. Not sure which I want. Hey, you know what? There's a third I can talk about. Okay, I'll do that 1 second. First one I'll talk about. Let me sure. Fault Elder Orb. Third-person MOBA that is exiting early access on Monday. And it was interesting to me when I was looking at this press release talking about it, because, like, that looks fairly familiar. And then I, was able to figure out why. So, some of you may remember that Epic had, for a time, a third-person MOBA called Paragon. It eventually collapsed. So many MOBAs did. But they ended up releasing all the assets. It doesn't quite look like the place is just using those assets, but they're at least similar. They just look very related. Honestly, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that. Take that, and if you think you can make money at it, why do you think Epic put that stuff out there? And it's free to play, which actually might have been one condition for them releasing the content, now that I think about it. Part of the reason that Epic releases assets like that, and I think that they did explicitly say, was so that people could use it instead of needing to make their own assets. Because sometimes, if you're more just a developer or engineer, the assets might be the hardest part for you. So, I could see that being a stipulation. And I will admit, I did enjoy Paragon, but, I mean, it's, wasn't amazing. I was trying to remember I parked here, and yes, this is the place you actually infiltrate at the beginning of the game. I do recognize. That's surprising. I'm assuming it's a pickup that I'm missing, not something I need to. I will not object to needing to explode.
Attack! Ha! We got him on the run!
Weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to shoot down that. I'm just gonna avoid him. Oh, right there. There it is. Okay, so I'm actually gonna do this. I'm just gonna take my helicopter back, go over, blow it up, and then move on to probably a mission. The other thing that I just remembered, saw a rumor about a Zen 4 engineering sample that was did a benchmark, but apparently I didn't look at it myself. I was just seeing some stuff because, like, I don't know how much I really care about some of these rumors. Not care enough to really dig in. But apparently it was like a browser-based benchmark, so not necessarily, like multi-threaded tests, most likely single-threaded. And
Fun.
hard to say exactly how intense it'll be either. But it was shown as surpassing the 5950X, which, if it's just single-threaded, that's not too surprising. Zen 4, it's reasonable to expect it to have single-thread uplift. Multi-thread, we don't. Yeah, and one thing that's interesting is an 11% increase is what it was working out as, 10-11%. Which is interesting for me, because, as I've talked about before, I'd like to upgrade the CPU in the test system. And right now, the two things that would make the most sense would be the 5900X, which would be best for, actually right now I have the test system doing some video processing. Another option would be the 5800X 3D, since the test system for collecting gaming performance. And that's a very powerful gaming CPU, but the thing is, I would have the concern that, okay, it's the most powerful gaming CPU, does that risk making it unrelatable? You know, too far from being the average. So I want my test system to be more average, to be more what, you know, when somebody is reading a performance analysis or whatever, it be close to what they're seeing.
It is a fact universally true that politicians are easily duped, threatened, or bribed. But there is always an exception, and this is Quin Rang Teng, steadfast and uncorruptible. He is a real man of steel. However, I have ways of fatiguing these men of metal. So I'd like you to bring him to me, comrade, if you are a match for this hero.
There
Feng will be riding in a limousine, as you'd expect. Hijack the limousine and bring him to me.
Yeah. Having to hijack to blow up. I in no way wanted that to happen.
In the area, sending all available units.
Yeah, so it's just if Zen 4 were to be sufficiently powerful compared to the 5800X PD, then it would make sense to go for that. If not, then I'd go to the 5900X. But it's also, yeah, I got months. I mean, it's like, this is definitely it can wait until, like, Zen 4 is here, kind of thing. Fine, we're just gonna land in the fire. Oh. Come on.
He's trying to hide.
Come on.
Hands up! He's coming to us! He's trying to hide. Mind if I borrow this?
Truly extraordinary. Now, deliver Tang to a safe house. There we'll see how much of a spine he really has.
I will not be treated like this! Stop the car immediately! Stop this car and
So I already am without at least one tire. So this is not good.
Either you come with me willingly, or I cut off your hands and bitch slap you with them all the way to where we're going.
Yeah, this is not a well-designed mission here. Because, I mean, if nothing else, it shouldn't allow the wheels to be popped, because a limo is already hard to control in this game. And that is just going to bring it to nearly impossible.
Feng will be riding in a limousine, as you'd expect. Hijack the limousine and bring him to me.
Yeah, I was not going to ride that old. Not that stupid. Or crazy.
All units!
Two.
Report to fire, sir. Report to location immediately. Truly
Yeah, looks like the best route is
Now,
to...
deliver Tang to a safe house. There we'll see how much of a spine he really has.
I will not be treated like this! Stop the car immediately! Stop this car and let me go! You do not know who you are messing with here!
Mr. Feng, either you come with me willingly, or I cut off your hands and bitch slap you with them all the way to where we're going.
I'm not sure if there's really anything else to say concerning that rumor. I think some of the specifics, potential specifics, and there was like at 4.4 gigahertz speed on it, which would be a nice uplift. But one thing about it that is potentially a little confusing, it's only 11% faster, is potentially troublesome. Just, I'm sure many people's expectations are for more from Zenful. Come on. Which, true, engineering sample. At this date, though, it should be, like, you wouldn't see an IPC increase, unless that can be achieved by BIOS/firmware. You know, we're just bad.
Can't get a clear shot!
I guess technically you could, but, core count, we don't know what that was, but if it's a browser-based thing, you expect that to be even, you know, perhaps not single-threaded, purely single-threaded, but not very heavily multi-threaded. So, yeah, it's just one of those, it's hard to know what to expect with that. Or rather, it doesn't tell us nearly as much as we may want it to. Which then leads to the question of, if this is legitimate, what kind of leak is it? Because, you know, some leaks are semi-legitimate. Damn it, I lost it. Where, you know, like, they're allowed to. Which, this one, I could see that being the case, because just my limited understanding of it would suggest that it is, not telling us too much. Why am I not... Okay, I see. We'll keep going this way. So yeah, I could see it being intentional insofar as it's not too informative. But it could also just be completely made up, because that certainly does happen. There are plenty of ways to fake such benchmark. And the most basic would be to just well, depend if it's in a database, that would be trickier, but you can still, you know, fake certain numbers going in, fake certain information.
You will become a legend.
That up on here. And yeah, why don't we hit that? And then I can head down here. So the last thing I've noted here James Webb Telescope. You know, I could have written that up and tried it. Anyway, the James Webb Telescope's first, like, proper images, not just calibration images, were released this week, which are definitely neat. The one that I saw most talked about, had a very deep field view, like peering very far back in time and all that. The one thing about it that's also kind of neat is there's a hell of a lot of lensing, gravitational lensing. So, and I just find that neat because, you know, I'm looking at it and it's like, I wonder, this specific galaxy I'm looking at, how many times is that actually in this image? Because you can have gravitational lensing so intense, it multiplies the image of a galaxy, or
the
whatever.
Reapers need more equipment as the revolution draws closer. You must steal an armored car for me.
It's also one of a quintet of galaxies, which is pretty neat to look at actually, because it I don't remember if all of them, but at least some of them are actually in the process of colliding. So you see the gas being ripped off of one towards another and such, and just generally their shapes distorted. Really is an interesting image. But one that for me is personally actually really cool. Like, you know, just like was not expecting to see that today, because I'm looking at the image and it's like, this looks familiar.
We have a visual. Requesting backup.
So the
Powerful vehicle will do wonders for the cause. Get it? You have it. Bring it to me, comrade.
There you are. The most recent book that I wrote is Space in Space, and I needed some cover art for it. Well, I decided there's some truly amazing Hubble images, so I started looking and found one that was actually very appropriate. There's actually a scene that I wrote in the book that, though technically it's not perfectly accurate because it's too far away for it to be correct. Okay. You need to stop spawning these guys in immediately behind. It's not fun. Okay. There you are. You out. But it turns out this NGC 3324, I believe it is, that I use, which is a very stunning Hubble image, as well as a stunning James Webb Telescope image, is part of what makes it so stunning is that it has such a contrast between the oranges and reds of the nebula, and then just a blue area that's not completely, but more looking at open space. There's still plenty of dust there, but it's still a harsh contrast between them, which is actually why I picked that one specifically when I was looking at images for cover.
Backup is arriving shortly.
But it's just kind of neat for me because it's like, well, I know I'm already familiar with this image and how the Hubble version looks, and now seeing the James Webb Telescope version, it's a lot more detailed. Yeah, can really see the difference. The Hubble image is basically the nebula looks more like clouds, and nebulous. Sorry, but yeah, it's kind of shapeless, just color, fuzzy color. But with the James Webb Telescope, you can actually see like filament structures in the nebula, in the dust and such, and that's really to see. And I actually had a little bit of fun where I took I took it and I aligned it back for, like, if I were to remake the cover, which I won't. Gosh. Won't do that. I'll keep the original cover, but I lined it up, and it's pretty neat. One thing, though, that's also different between them is the bokeh on the stars. For Hubble, it's got 4 lines to it, which is, what you'd kind of expect. Whereas the bokeh for the James Webb Telescope is hexagonal, which makes some sense because its mirrors are hexagonal in shape, and they themselves they fit together to form a larger hexagon. So it's just, the light hitting the mirrors there are what produce that pattern on the bright lights of the stars. And that's just how the bokeh works in general, but it's still kind of neat to notice the difference. Now, the only thing that would have made it more appropriate, more amazing, would be if that were the bike. I'll just run it in, I guess. Would be if it were for the upcoming Nancy Grace Roman telescope, because I kind of used her name. I've broken into parts in the book. Like, that would have been just amazing. I was like, this is amazing, that, amazing coincidence, but that would have been like, oh my god, I definitely picked the right name and right cover. It was just...
We have a visual! Requesting backup!
You know what? I'm gonna do this the right way. Which is to say, screw it, do the thing for a bit, I'm getting the damn gun. I'm just gonna clear this area. Come on, there you go. You first. There.
Over there!
Alright. At this point, I think yeah, I'm already healing, so I should be fine. But I'm just gonna clear this, and then I'm gonna grab the thing. It should be safe path.
That'll come in handy.
No, I'm not aimed at that. Well, that's not good for them. See, this is why I like this gun so much. It's not only got unlimited ammo, it's just powerful. One thing I can say about the James Webb Telescope as well, this is just a theory, but I think it is actually true, is initially the plan had been more so to have it and Hubble active at the same time. That then kind of shifted, or at least that they couldn't guarantee that, because the Webb was taking that long to actually finish. Now, it is the case at the moment, but I would not be surprised if some of that is just because Hubble doesn't want to die. But at one point, Webb is today recognized, today seen as the successor to the Hubble. Its original design actually would not have been that. It would have been more so the successor to Spitzer. Spitzer was an infrared space observatory. It was actually the Spitzer Space Observatory. because basically Spitzer showed that, oh, infrared is actually a very good area of the spectrum to look.
Backup has been sent. ETA 30 seconds.
They should not have sent a help. That is cheap.
God, that powerful vehicle will do wonders for the cause. Get it?
Yeah, it's still around. Oh, come on. Come on. But I think with the web, it kind of took some flack for being... I mean, it would have been very heavily... It still would have been near infrared, but enough heavily infrared that you wouldn't have some of the beautiful pictures that Hubble is definitely known for. There you are. But I do think that there was actually... It took some heat. And so they decided, you know what, we're going to need to have it cover visible better. And it doesn't have much visible. But it has more than it, I'm pretty sure, than it originally was going to have. And yeah, I do believe that that is completely because they realized, oh, people actually like looking at these images, we better make sure. Because, yeah, Hubble is not something that they can walk away from that easy. I mean, it is... I don't remember, actually. Is it a... I know at one point I've seen it described as the most successful science experiment in human history. I don't remember if that is actually true or still the case. But it's also not that surprising because the thing was supposed to be done a while ago. Like I mean, it is, as I kind of said earlier, Hubble doesn't want to die. And it also continues to have certain uses that you do not see with with the other space observatories. Specifically, it is, to go out? Oh yeah, I guess I can. I do see that there. I just never went far enough over to actually see that myself. It has ultraviolet capability that I'm not aware of any other having that. Maybe the Nancy Grace Roman, though. I could see that. I don't remember if that is part of the specs. But yeah, Hubble is just gonna keep going and going and going as long as it can. Which will mean that it will continue to be the most successful science experiment in history. Because how do you top it when it's still advancing? Okay, we're just... Oh, good. That makes things a little easier for me. Oh, come on. Those were tracking. Oof. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this. That helicopter, they should not be allowing a helicopter here, because that has too much of an advantage. Yeah, I'm already... That has too much of an advantage, because it's basically able to attack you very powerfully in a way that you cannot respond to. So yeah, that's actually not... That's not okay. But yeah, one thing about Hubble that is unfortunate is even if we had the space shuttle today, it is Hubble's orbit has gone so high that it actually would not be accessible. That you could not send a shuttle mission to fix it, to upgrade it. And I think if you look, the last Hubble shuttle mission to do upgrades such to it, I think even that, the history of it was like, it was near enough the edge of being able to access it that there was some expectation that basically if the shuttle mission got scrubbed and they had to wait for another launch window, they would not have been able to do it. I think it actually was that close. Which, yeah, is nuts and sucks. But, hey, they did it.
Located. All units attack on site.
There we go. That guy's taken care of now. What the hell? I have no idea why that just blew up like that. I was like, was that... Did he drop a grenade?
Now, we'll have some fun.
I don't know so much about walking away, but yeah, that is always one problem with hand grenades. Because they're on timers, if you don't cook it just right, you risk your enemy being able to avoid it, or in some cases actually pick it up and throw it back at you. Kind of embarrassing. It's like, wait, no, this was supposed to kill you. Can become very much an unorthodox and dangerous game of hot potato. Huh, didn't even notice that thing. I see you there, you're not getting away. Neither are you. Come on. There it is.
Get him! Regroup!
I think I have all the destructibles. I'm not certain. No, I don't, because there's some back there. But I can get those quickly enough and then grab the car. And hopefully from that be able to get the hell out of here. Fortunately, I don't have a mark yet for where I need to take it.
Hands up!
Oh, that powerful vehicle will do wonders for the cause. Get it. You have it! Bring it to
Come on.
me,
There we go. I know it's in this...
comrade.
Oh. There we go. Left? Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, good. I don't know why I mean, I may have been hitting some stuff, but it seemed more like there was something stuck on. Yeah. That was handy. This is a terrible idea. I should not be doing it. Alright.
Excellent. The big steel beast is ours. We will put it to good use. Be sure of that.
Alright, there. We can head down here. Good, I got a helicopter I can take, but let's see if I can pick up whatever. Should be a black. Ah, there it is. Should be a black box. Sorry, I was just claiming the notes on my phone. I don't need them anymore. Ooh, there's a scene.
Another box of revolutionary
What is this, a
goodies.
Bethesda game?
Thank you.
Not even Microsoft money is going to result in Bethesda games coming out just like that. You better hope so. I still do kind of believe that a Bethesda game launching without bugs would be a sign of the apocalypse. Because it's also the case that, you know, a decade after the release, you'll still have bugs. And not small ones. Some of them can still be kind of big. Or at least things where it's like, why is this not? How is this not? You know what? Hang on. Stronghold is over there. It is right next to it. How long have I been going? 40 minutes. I'm gonna make sure I end in this zone, but let's finish clearing out that, and this can be a short one. I do know, my preference is for 40 minutes, by the way, so I should actually stop now. But I typically go to an hour with this, because I enjoy the game so much. It's easy for me to lose track of time. Sorry, I can see the flashing. Pick that up. Then take off again. And yeah. I see that. Get up and say hello to the sniper. Oop. There we go. Alright. Now, technically, at any point now, I will be respawn in the, at that strong. I also just realized I can just fast travel. I'll just land somewhere and do that. That'll be a lot faster to make sure I'm there. Then then I'll save and stop. I'm sorry. It's a compulsion. I have to play the game.
Get us a chopper! Now!
And he means it, because he gets it right away. See anything to blow up here? Ooh, they sent 2 choppers at me. Interesting. They must really want it. Where'd the other one go? There it is. That was perfect. Oh, come on, really? I just blew those up, and you're already calling more? He's in front of me. Where? There it is.
We are sending a bird over.
You really don't need to. It doesn't see me, so I have that. Oh, it lost me. Cool. Okay. This is not a completely terrible idea, I think. Oh, yeah, that's right. It does do that, doesn't it? I mean, it is a helicopter he uses, so it makes sense it drops you off like that. Alright. I could probably actually stop recording now, but I like actually exiting out. Alright. So, yeah. See you next time.